Story 1. The Girl in Room 309, Part Arrival. I was 21 when I moved to Boston for a semester abroad. I didn't have much money, so instead of a regular apartment or student housing, I found a cheap hostel near downtown that offered long-term stays. The building was old, early 1900s brick exterior, creaky floors, and that musty, historic New England smell that hits you the moment you step in. I thought it was charming. I was wrong. They gave me a room on the third floor, room 309. It was small but functional, single bed, metal desk, and a window that looked out over the alley. The manager, an older guy named Ed, gave me the key and muttered something I didn't catch as I signed the register. I asked him to repeat it. He hesitated, then said, "Don't leave your window open after midnight. The wind gets weird up here." I laughed. He didn't. The first night was uneventful, just traffic noise, distant sirens, the usual city ambience. But the second night, that's when it started. Around 1:30 a.m., I woke up freezing. I swear the room temperature had dropped by 10 degrees. I sat up and saw the window was wide open, even though I was sure I had shut and locked it before bed. Wind whipped through the curtains like fingers clawing at the fabric. As I got up to close it, I noticed something across the alley, a room directly opposite mine, maybe 15 feet away. The window there was also open. A girl stood in it, pale skin, long black hair. She was just standing there, staring into my room. I called out, "Hey, you okay?" But she didn't respond, didn't move, just stood there, hands hanging at her sides, hair covering most of her face. Suddenly, a loud bang behind me made me spin around. My closet door had flung open, hitting the wall. I rushed over to it. Nothing inside, of course. And when I turned back to the window, she was gone. Window shut. Lights off. I barely slept that night. By morning, I convinced myself it was a weird dream. Maybe sleep paralysis. Maybe just a stress hallucination. I had a long day of classes ahead, so I chalked it up to nerves. By the fourth night, I was locking that damn window 3 times over. But it still opened, always sometime between 1 and 2 a.m., no matter what I did. That night, I stayed up, sitting at my desk with a thermos of coffee and my laptop, determined to catch it in the act. The hostel had no cameras, no staff on duty past 10 p.m., and the hallway always felt deserted after midnight. At 1:42 a.m., I heard it, a soft metallic click, then the slow creak of the window sliding upward. I froze. The window opened by itself. No wind, no hands, just slowly opened. And across the alley she was there again, closer now. This time she wasn't in the window. She was on the ledge outside it, barefoot, toes curled over the edge of the stone sill, gripping the side of the building like a shadow clinging to the wall. Still just staring at me. I backed away. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. My body locked up. I couldn't move until I blinked, and when I did, she was gone. I slammed the window shut and shoved my desk against it. That night, I slept with the lights on, a baseball bat beside my bed. The next morning, I went downstairs to talk to Ed, the manager. I asked him, "Who lives in the room across from me?" "The one across the alley." He gave me a weird look. "Nobody's in there. It's been boarded up for years, Gore. No one wants to stay in that side of the building." I told him about the girl, the window, the way she stared. He didn't laugh, he just looked tired. "You're not the first," he said quietly. "Room 309 used to be a short-term room until, well, we stopped putting people there, figured students wouldn't be there long enough to notice." I pressed him. "Notice what?" He sighed. 10 years ago, a girl was staying in the room across from yours. Foreign exchange student. Quiet. Kept to herself. One night she jumped from her window, fell 3 stories, landed in the alley, died on impact. I swallowed. "Suicide?" He shook his head. "That's what they said. But she left no note, and someone on the 3rd floor swore they saw her trying to climb back in, like something had pushed her." I moved out that day, packed all my things and left the hostel with no real explanation. Ed didn't ask. I don't think he was surprised. But here's the thing, I never told anyone, not until now. 2 nights after I left, I got a text from an unknown number. No message, just a photo. It was my window, room 309. The window was open, and she was inside. Story 2, the locked basement at Elmsworth Hostel. When I was 24, I took a gap year to travel across the US and ended up working part-time at a hostel in Asheville, North Carolina. It was one of those converted colonial mansions, creaky wood floors, dusty chandeliers, weird cold spots even in the summer. The kind of place that looks great on Instagram, but feels wrong after dark. Elmsworth Hostel had a strict do not enter rule for the basement. There was even a handwritten sign taped to the door: storage, staff only, do not open. But here's the thing, we never used it. The staff room was on the main floor. Supplies were kept in the hall closet. No one had a reason to go down there, and none of the keys on our ring even worked for the basement lock. One night I was working the front desk during a thunderstorm. It was one of those southern nights where the lightning lights up the whole damn street and the thunder makes the windows rattle. Around 11:30 p.m. we had a brief power flicker, and when the lights came back on, the basement door was ajar. I stared at it for a good 30 seconds. It had never been opened before. I got up, heart pounding, and walked over. Pushed the door gently. It creaked open, revealing a staircase leading down into pitch black. The air that rolled up was not just musty. It was wet, like rotting wood and something sour, a smell that made your stomach curl. I should have closed it and called the owner, but I was curious, stupidly curious. I grabbed my phone flashlight and descended slowly. The stairs were old, sagging under each step. My light barely cut through the darkness, but I could make out a long, narrow hallway at the bottom lined with rusted shelves and boxes. That's when I heard it. A dragging sound. Shh, shh. Something was moving, slow and deliberate, deeper in the dark. I whispered out, "Hello?" And the dragging stopped. Silence. Then something whispered back. My own name, whispered like it had been waiting to say it for a long, long time. Daniel. I ran. No hesitation. I nearly broke my ankle climbing back up the stairs, slammed the basement door shut, and shoved a chair against the knob like that would help. And here's the worst part. When I looked at my phone later that night, I had a voice memo. I never recorded it. It was only 10 seconds long. Just breathing. And then my name, drawn out, wet, whispery. Daniel, welcome back. I told the owner, Claire, about what happened the next morning. She didn't react the way I expected. No laughing it off. No, you were dreaming. She just looked tired. Tired and guilty, maybe? She walked with me to the basement door, stared at it for a while, then said, "It's not supposed to open anymore." I asked her what she meant by anymore. She finally told me the story. Years before it was a hostel, the house belonged to a wealthy family with a troubled son, Samuel. He was mentally unstable, violent, and eventually locked away in that basement. They claimed it was for his protection. But Claire found old records during the renovation, police reports, city documents. There were complaints of screams heard for weeks. People suspect he died down there. Maybe starvation, maybe worse. No one ever found a body.